Hello, everyone. Welcome to, I think we're on our third interview now for the North Myrtle Beach Celebrity Survivor Season 2. I'm Shaw Ashley, the director, and I am here with
Leah Bean.
Leah Bean. All right, so Leah, tell us what you do for a living and what makes you kind of a local celebrity.
Well, I am a board certified behavior analyst. I'm a BCBA, and that means that I work on analyzing and modifying behavior. My career has been spent working with children with autism along the spectrum, so kiddos in public school to children in residential settings who are have such severe behavior they can't be home with their families. So I've worked with the gamut of kids along the way, and it's been amazing. It's been a blessing, and I absolutely love it. And I'm actually now the director of our quality assurance department at our ABA program. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So, why should the community root for you during the competition?
I would say I love being out in the community, supporting the community. I love people. And that's probably why I ended up becoming a behavior analyst. And I love just getting to know everyone and their strengths and seeing what everyone can bring to an event like this or to a community or to a school and just improving what we already have and helping everyone else out along the way. So I'm definitely more is merrier type of person. Love including people and just making it a positive and fun vibe along the way with kind of everything I do. So I try to stick with that motto in life.
Awesome. So, have you, now you don't have to answer this or say who, but have you made any pregame alliances? And if not, do you plan to, or do you want to save it for the first weekend in May and make it authentic?
It would be smart to do some pregame alliances, but I'm really so excited for the natural kind of human part of the game. And I feel like it's only fair. I'm a Survivor fan. They didn't get to know people beforehand, right? So I feel like we kind of shouldn't either. And just seeing what those natural connections are when you meet people for the first time, it goes so far. So I'm kind of reading that more angle of just waiting and seeing. But I know some of the people who are in our groups and wonderful people out there. So it'll be interesting having that aspect of community members, but really getting to know people when we dive in.
Yeah, so looking at the cast so far, do you notice immediately any groups of people you can see together or any divides? Elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, it's always so interesting because I think people can easily assume, oh, this person may be really good at this, and this person's probably not so good at this. But along with my career and life experiences, I've definitely learned along the way, you cannot judge a book by its cover, and you never should, and that will always work to your disadvantage. So I think it's important to, be aware of the strengths and, potential weaknesses of others, but not put a preconceived notion ahead of yourself.
Yeah. So, have you ever watched Survivor? If so, how many seasons? Are you a casual, a super fan? Do you have a favorite castaway?
I love Survivor. I watched for every single season from 2000. Richard Hatch, number one, watched every single one. And my sister and I would watch every Thursday and just watch and love the game so much together. It was always a really special time for us to do that. And then that transferred on to my husband and I watching it together. And now my kids love watching it. So when we saw the camp that you put on last year, my kids were so excited to be able to do that because they couldn't believe that this real live show is coming here, and it was really amazing. So I love the show, and I have a couple favorites out there for sure. And someday I would love to give it a whirl, the real show. So
Awesome. So, in Survivor, there's, of course, outwit, outplay, outlast is the name of the game, but to make it more simple for people who don't know exactly what that means, basically there's three core things: your social gameplay, your strategic gameplay, and your competitive gameplay and the challenges. Of the three, social, strategic, and competitive, what do you think your biggest strategy is going to be in the game?
I'm going to say social. I think I'll be strong in competitions. I love being active, and I'm very competitive spirited. um, Strategic, I think, will be a little more challenging for me. I've always leaned more towards going off of emotion rather than strategy. So I know that's something that I need to prepare myself for. But social goes so far. It just goes so incredibly far. Bless you.
Thank you.
So I think that will be my strength. But it's always hard knowing when you naturally want to drive a situation or lead a situation and not doing that maybe in certain circumstances. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out and really kind of testing myself.
Yeah. So here's another interesting question for you. So last year, or last season, I should say at this point, we had the Queen of Survivor come out and compete, and we had another winner, Chris Underwood from our area, who won. Now this season we have three different people. I think we all know Johnny Fairplay, and we have two more interesting picks that I am really interested to see how these two do. Mariah from last season, season 42, she was an earlier boot, but she got a lot of screen time with her personal life and with her brother. And then Crystal, all the way back in one of my favorite seasons, Gabon, who was a former Olympian and a mom out there who did an awesome job. How do you think, can you see yourself working with them, or can you see yourself immediately targeting the tribe captains? Because they are safe their very first vote, remember.
They have so much to give. They have so much information and strategy for us to learn from that I think it's really important to keep them around for a while. But at the same time, that's part of the game, right? So that's where your strategy has to come in on. At what point do we maybe want to give others a chance who haven't been able to get up in there and be in the real game? And it's that fine line, seeing when that is good. But I can't wait to meet them and learn from them and see what their real life experience was, and see what we can learn from it too.
Absolutely. So, there's always in Survivor, there's three types of challenges. Your physical challenges that are very exhausting and draining, your mental challenges, puzzles, brain games, and then you have your endurance challenges, which kind of do go hand in hand with both. Do you think you'll be good in all the challenges? If not, how do you plan to overcome that and stay in the game?
Well, I know my strengths, and I don't want to give them away here in this interview, right? But I know my strengths. And so I plan to, work on my area that I think is weaker ahead of time, and maybe finesse that area, get it ready a little bit more, then get myself ready and prepared for what I think I need to be doing a little bit more of. But again, I think it's all about how the situations are going to come together and kind of what happens, because you never know, right? You never know, even if someone's responsible for maybe losing a challenge. If there's something else going on in the background and you can use that to your advantage, are you doing that? And are you prepared to think that strategically? So kind of keeping that in the back pocket as well.
For sure. So because you're a super fan, I feel like I could ask you this question. I usually don't ask this question, but from the show, we've seen now we're on the 43rd season. Who of a former castaway do you think you can compare your style of gameplay to? Like, who do you think you'll be most like?
I loved Poverty. She was one of my favorites for so many reasons. I think probably because she was just so real, and you could easily judge her one way, kind of if you were to judge the book by the cover. And she just was so strategic and so smart and played such a good social game. And even though, some of her competitions were not best, she still went so far. And she was just fun. She was just fun to watch and see through the game as well. Seeing that human side of her, I really, kind of connected with. So I love her. I have so many favorites, but I could see being similar to her.
Awesome. So I know we're only a couple of weeks into like the official fundraising and really starting to get closer to the season, but what have you done to prepare for the game so far? And if not, what do you plan to do?
I think I've thought most about kind of the approach I want to go into for fundraising in particular, I think. because we're all doing this for the kids, right? That's what it all goes back to. And it's going to be an amazing experience for each one of us, I think, for different reasons personally. But I think going in and fundraising and trying to get those advantages, I think I just want to bring it back to the kids and the importance of the community and giving back and getting kids out there to be able to go to camp who, maybe their families can't afford to get them there. And especially with what's gone on over the last several years and just how hard life has been for so many people, just enjoying this experience, but giving back as much as possible through it.
So you were the first person who has firsthand experience. You got to come out to the camp this summer, and your kids came, and you got to, interact with everyone, and got to meet Jane. So
Cool.
do you think that helps you a little bit to get more of an idea of what all this goes to and how much fun these kids really get to have at camp?
I think so. I do. I think so. My kids have been to a variety of different camps, and they're good judges of whatever all the kids love. And they came home and said, "Mom, this is the coolest camp. Can we do this every week?" And I asked them all the reasons why, and of course, Shaw is just so cool and awesome to work with, and they just couldn't believe that you put this big thing on for them. So they were inspired. They were truly inspired by that, which is a lot for young kids to relate to, right? But the competitive nature and the way that the camp is run and, in good spirit and competition, healthy habits, being active, learning real skills, it's just such a great way to go about it. And then getting to come in and see Jane come in, helping kids light fire with coconut husks in, the middle of the parking lot. Didn't have fire trucks on the side, but, didn't need them. We were ready to put anything out if we needed to. It was so cool. It was such a cool experience. I called my sister and family after. I said, "You'll never guess who I got to meet today." And it was just such an amazing experience. So I'm excited for those other people who haven't had that experience yet to be able to have it. It's really, really, really neat.
And I think, we're really, really excited that we were able to have someone, because, a couple of parents had asked to come. And I'm just like, what am I going to do? All these parents want to come. And you were so excited and adamant about being there. I was like, yes, come on. So, and I'm super glad you did, because we hadn't really gotten a chance to meet and talk. And it all ended up because now you're going to be on season 2. And I think it is really important that we have somebody on the cast who has firsthand experience, because it is easy for someone to go and say, "Yeah, I'll support this," and we'll tell you what you're supporting, but that firsthand experience is amazing. So thank you again for agreeing to participate, or applying actually. So
absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm honored and so excited.
Of course. So that pretty much wraps up all my questions. Do you have anything? Here's a big thing about why this interview is important. It is important because not only can you, share this, a lot of people have been doing like posters, flyers, but you can share this as another way for people to donate to you. But this is important because we have a lot of viewers from our first season who aren't from our area, and they just watch it because they're Survivor super fans and love to watch fan-made Survivors like this. And they are going to donate, and they're going to watch these videos and pick who they want to donate to, because they don't know any of y'all really. So this is important. So do you have something you want to say to everyone watching this before they get to see you in action in May?
Yes, I hope you enjoy watching me on the season. I'm so excited for those super fans out there. I am pushing myself now I've always sat back and said, I'm going to put myself in for that application for Survivor. I'm going to do it. And I never do it. And I always truly mean it. And I don't know what holds me back. And maybe it's that fear of, not getting there. Maybe it's the fear of, if I did, what would happen? And again, through the last several years, they've been quite a challenge for so many people. And I'm done with that fear. And I'm excited to get out there and give back. And again, do it for the kiddos. I've loved working with kids my entire life. So if you want to throw me your votes or donations my way, throw it out to the kiddos, working with kiddos with autism, getting more kids to be able to go to this camp during the summer and have an amazing time and have such amazing connections that they're building and building their self-confidence, that I hope you can vote for me or support me, and I'll make you proud.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Leah. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.